Hello and welcome to another Unsourced World unboxing video. And we're going to be doing something a little bit different this time, which is that this is going to be the first in a whole month-long series of unboxings that I'm going to be doing called HULKvember. And as you might expect, it's going to be a bunch of Hulk stuff that I was inspired to get for multiple reasons. A few because I used to have them as a kid, and a couple that I wish I had, but I never got the chance to get before. And now, before we get on into it, I just want to show everyone the full scope of what we're going to be talking about this month. Now, isn't this the perfect and most fiscally responsible way of getting over the seasonal depression blues? So, without further ado, let's get this first package open and get started with our first HULKvember review. Alright, so this box actually has two different items in it. It's not some big product like the original Hulk hands or something, since those things are like foolishly expensive. And to just let you know off the bat, I'm be talking about both items in separate videos. The first one is going to be an item that is near and dear to my heart. And yeah, let's get right onto it. Let's pull that one out. Let's see what, I believe this is the right one. And the first item we'll be talking about is the... Ooh. Punching Hulk with wall smashing action figure. Now this is part of the merchandising line put out by Toybiz in order to tie into the original 2003 Hulk movie directed by Ang Lee. And the reason why this is so near and dear to me is that this might have actually been the first Hulk toy I ever got. Now as a kid I wasn't a huge fan of the Ang Lee movie. I actually kind of hated it a bit. But now my feelings have done like a complete 180 since then. I think it's a masterpiece and a classic of superhero movie making. But I do credit the movie back then for really stoking the flames my interest and eventual love for the Hulk. And in no smart part is that due to the incredible toy line Toybiz did for the movie, with tie-ins like this and some other stuff we'll get through later. Now, what's fun about this and other toys in that toy line is that they came in this packaging that looked like, guess what they're trying to say is a gamma like transformation chamber for the Hulk, when no such thing exists in the movie. And the closest thing we get is part of a different toy that, no spoilers, but we'll probably get a deeper look into that. And, it's fun, but it's part of the really inherent thing about this storyline in that it tried really hard to be toyetic when the movie isn't really like that at all. But yeah, let's get this amazing packaging open. This is a really hefty package, and it's honestly a shame that I had to open it just to talk about this toy, but yeah, things have to be done, I guess. Now, outside of nostalgic reasons, my main purpose in getting this particular figure as part of HULKvember at all is that out of the main Hulk figures Toybiz made up for the 2003 movie, this is probably the best looking one. Now that's not to say that the other Titan Hulks were bad, but the fact remains that Ang Lee's movie is a very contemplative, reflective, cerebral, and emotionally based movie. And while that's really hard to translate to a toy line that has to be aimed at kids and has to be very toyetic and gimmicky and very actiony fun. So about 99% of toys that were made for the Hulk movie are cast in an expression of like snarling rage. It's just not the best representation of what the movie was all about. And Punching Hulk is only one exception of that. It's still got a very standard grimace to it, but the toned and held back nature of the facial detail, compared to the contemporaries, gives it a little bit more of a contemplative and somber attitude that is the hallmark of the movie that it's based on. It also helps that since it doesn't have to strain itself into like a rage-fueled growling face, the detail on it is allowed to breathe just a tiny bit more, and it actually looks a little bit like Eric Bana. Now, two things that are off about this figure, despite what really works about it, is that it really can't escape from the other toyetic qualities that all the other figures have, which is that it's a really ripped figure. Like, it's ultra ripped, it's ultra defined. Now, I'm not saying that the Hulk shouldn't be muscular as all hell. I mean, that'd be ridiculous. But Ang Lee's version was less defined and had more muscular slabs, and a lot more rounded out and just very thick looking. These figures in this run make him look a little bit too Ripley and a little bit like too dehydrated, almost like the Edward Norton movie. And it's a shame that the movie's design, which was actually really damn good, wasn't able to be, captured faithfully. Well, that's not entirely accurate. Outside the mainline tie-in figures, there was actually one toy that was able to get a good approximation. And that was the Stretch and Roar Toy Hulk that was about 6% rubber with a voice-activated box inside that roared and boasted about how strong it was whenever you bashed it around. And the thick rubber nature of that figure in particular reproduced the movie's aesthetic pretty well, actually surprisingly well. And that's also a toy I had as a kid, but has since been lost to time and is now super foolishly expensive too. Now, I still have this technically, but it's actually in Ecuador in my grandparents' farmhouse, and it just seemed easier to get a new figure of it rather than, I guess, pay for shipping there. And who knows what quality it might not even be worth reviewing and looking over like this. So, and it came with a 2-pack, so it seemed like the cheaper option. And lastly, about this toy Hulk figure, is the weird thing about it is that it comes with blue denim jeans. And he never wears this in the movie. And in fact, the mock-up photos of the prototype for this figure have him wearing like the classic purple pants, which he does wear in the movie. And you can even see the purple pants on the back of the figure's box. Like, these aren't denim jeans. These aren't like the baby blue jeans. They're the purple, pants. Like, what happened to that version? And as far as I know, there's no variant to this figure. It only came with the blue denim jeans. So something's up and something's missing. I do think it does give a nice distinctive look. And even though he doesn't have them in the movie, there's something about the blue jeans that makes it feel more like the movie, It makes him stand out, makes him more unique. So, kudos to that. And now let's move on to the main gimmick of this figure, which is that it's the punching Hulk. So it comes with a wall that you can have him bash out like pre-cut holes out of. And, that's, even though it has posability qualities to it, it's mainly meant to just have a little He-Man style power punch. So, let's get that set up and demonstrate it for you here. So now we have it all set up. We have the Hulk posed up with his arms outstretched. If you put him out like full armed out, it makes it really hard to get the lever going because there's no momentum. But yeah, he has a little lever on his back. You pull it down and he kind of goes like all primal and enraged. And that's fun. See, there's 3 little cutout holes with his little fists molded in. And, it's kind of weak. It's surprisingly held up well for a toy that's, the plastic is like 2 decades old at this point. But yeah, let's try to make it as simple as possible. You know what? Yeah, it's a little bit too weak at this point. Maybe it was better when I first got the toy in the original version. But right now, I think the plastic, especially in the wrist, is a little bit too soft and aged to actually get something going. You can always push it out anyway. That's part of the fun of having toys like this, is that you can just kind of play act it. But yeah, that's the whole gimmick. Comes a little stand too. And that's fun. I'm pretty sure I lost these really early on. I know I had this straight out of the box too when I was 8. But this isn't really the draw. Just having a nice sculpt here, a nice looking Hulk figure that you can just kind of stand up. That was really the main focus. And now that it's out of the box, we can get a better look at what I was talking about. It's not like a perfect somber or sullen or saddened Hulk like I would prefer. But it is a really damn good face sculpt. And it's, in terms of proportion, in terms of general aesthetic, it's probably the best looking movie Hulk figure that there is at this scale. And, Toybiz did the original Marvel Legends stuff. And this is probably the closest there's going to be to a Marvel Legends movie Hulk. I know that there's a bunch of other stuff that's come out. There's a movie Venom now. But I doubt they're going to go back and make a movie Ang Lee Hulk figure. So, it's just probably it's a good one to find if you really want it. If you really like the movie, it's definitely worth the time. And it's great. See what I mean? With the outstretched arms, really hard to do it. Anyway, that's the first of HULKvember. And yeah, I know it's a really cool box too. I'm definitely going to keep it. I think I did a good job getting this out. And hope to see you again next week when we take a look at the second in the 2-pack I got. And, hopefully we'll see how it stacks up compared to this. All right, so this is an addendum that I'm recording after the fact because there's a bunch of things that I didn't add that I only figured out after I finished recording. So it turns out that HULKvember isn't that much of a planned out experience after all, but it is a fun one because it turns out after like 17 years of not playing with this toy that the way that you activate the He-Man Power Punch is just by twisting the leg. I don't know what else I was doing before that was wrong, but that's a major one. And I wonder if that makes pushing these out of the wall any easier. So let's find out. I got him in prime punching position, not like a bent, which would be a little bit weak. Let's see. All right, yeah, got one, got two. Aha. All right, that was pretty fun actually. Because before I started recording, I tested it out. Like, I guess it depends on how much, force you exert or how weak the spring is getting. But it actually went like across the room, one of these ones. So it can go far. And you know what? It's an entertaining little gimmick. It still doesn't add much, but it does create an experience for kids. Like I punched a hole through the wall, and it does do it well if you got the force to do it. Also, another part that I just recently figured out the other day before recording this, and then part why I'm recording this at all, is that it turns out this did get a Purple Pants edition. Now, it's not a variant, it's more of a reissue. And it came from near the end of the line because boxes with the Purple Pants variant have a sticker saying "Own the Hulk" on DVD. So it wasn't around the same time this was coming out where it was trying to tie into the movie. It was trying to tie into the movies coming out on home video. So that must be quite a long time after this one. So I guess they wanted to, try again with the Hulk line. Maybe they thought that the Purple Pants would act a little bit better. And it's the exact same gimmick. It's the exact same function. Even has the lever to do the punching. But it's not called the Punching Hulk. It's called the Rampaging Hulk. And another key difference is, even though everything is the same, the sculpt on the pants, the legs, the arms, the whole entire mechanism, they resculpted the face on that one to be more of that generic toy line wide snarling angry face. Which, I don't know, it feels so weird. So it's definitely not even the prototype version that you see on the box, that you see on the back of the box for this figure. So I have no idea what even happened there. What happened to that version of the toy that had this face of the Purple Pants? Was that the only one made? It's a big mystery to me. I have no idea how or why they did it that way. But part of me is wondering if I could possibly get a Rampaging Hulk and swap out the heads. But one thing about the head here is that it is pretty much a ball joint up to itself. And so getting it out would probably just destroy the entire thing. So I'm going to leave it at that. Although it is nice to know that if you do want a figure like this, even if it does have an inferior face, you can get it with the Purple Pants mechanism. Anyway, that's it for this video. I had a lot of fun talking about this figure. Even days after the rest of this video was recorded, it's nice to have, and it does bring back good nostalgic memories. So, like I said, pick it up if you're interested in like the Ang Lee Hulk movie, or you're a fan of it at all. It's a nice novelty to have. See you again next week for the second part of HULKvember. It's going to be a lot of fun, and also right after this, there's going to be a little photo gallery of sorts showcasing the sculpt a bit more and the face a bit more. See you again next time.